Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kayla Marie and I make topic videos, spirituality videos, or whatever you want to call it. And y'all, today I'm here late, okay? It is late. It is, what time is it? It's 10:30 right now. But I really wanted to get this message out because it's something that was on my heart this past week, and I also did not upload a video last week. So I really wanted to show up for you guys and for myself because I need this message too. I always go back and listen to messages that I write or that I upload. And so, yes, today's message is give yourself permission to make mistakes. The title is allow yourself to make mistakes, I think is what I put. But I really want to reinforce the idea that you are allowed to make mistakes. We are human, okay? And I really wanted to talk about this because this is something that I myself have been grappling with. Y'all already know. I say this every video. Everything that I talk about or I speak on is something that I'm going through, something that I also need to know, something that I might have overcome already. And I want to share that love, that wisdom, that knowledge with you guys, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? We already been chit-chatting it up. Tea. And I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you guys are also having a wonderful day, morning, evening, whenever you're watching. But I really want to reinforce the idea that this video is specifically for people that struggle with perfectionism. If you like anything like me, okay? If you struggle with perfectionism, if you struggle with overthinking, if you are maybe a little bit impulsive, if you find yourself taking more risks, you've always been a risk taker or a daredevil, whatever you want to call it, okay? If you have a fear of failure, or if you have analysis paralysis. And that kind of goes in with overthinking, but if you know, analysis paralysis, having a hard time making decisions, having a hard time just being clear on where you're going and focusing on one thing and all those things, then you know the struggle, okay? And that's, if you struggle with any of that, this video is for you. And if you don't struggle with any of that, but you still have a hard time allowing yourself to accept failure or accepting mistakes that you've made or forgiving yourself for mistakes that you've made or just accepting the fact that you'll make mistakes ever in general in life, okay? This is for you, okay? So period. Let's get into it. So I want to speak on, I already talked about this a little bit before, but I want to also speak on where this even came from and how this is also like a message that I need because, y'all, I was thinking about it, a lot of my messages come through when I'm at work. So I was at work and I was thinking and I'm like, I literally just randomly thought about the idea that like it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be imperfect. I am the type of person, y'all, and my whole channel is centered around spirituality. It's centered around, self-care, self-love, healing, spiritual growth, all these things. But I have been in a space in my life where I don't want to think about any of that right now. And it's not in a way where I feel like self-destructive or I feel like, I'm turning my back away from all things spirituality. Because no, spirituality is intrinsic. It's weaved in the fabric of my life. It's spirituality, whether you identify as a spiritualist or not, we all are spirits, in my opinion, having a human experience. And we all have souls, we all have spirits, and we all have to find ways to cater to our soul in whatever way is best for us, okay? And so that doesn't change, the facts, in my opinion. I feel like it's fact, but it doesn't change that at the end of the day, you have to tend to your spirit. You have a spirit in the first place, okay? But I just genuinely have been really finding myself like I don't want to think about any of that. And I don't want to have to always, I guess, have this idea of what I should be doing and the decisions I should be making, because there's literally no right or wrong way to live your life. Of course, there's ways that might be more beneficial, that might be healthier, that might be more fulfilling, but there's no really right or wrong way. Like, we don't have the answers. We don't know how to always navigate in this world, and it's okay. Like, I think I'm in this position that I'm in at this time because I feel like I'm being forced to learn that it's literally okay if you're not always, I guess, two, three, five, 4 steps, 10 steps ahead, okay? Especially as somebody I am a tarot reader, I am an intuitive person. I'm always picking up on energies, I'm always picking up on messages and all these different things. And so I think sometimes I get really, really down on myself when I, might not listen to my intuition once, or I might not want to fully accept a message that I'm getting. And I feel like I'm leaving that behind because I think that I'm meant to still experience my life. There are still lessons that I have to learn and that you might have to learn. And even though you might feel like, oh, well, I don't know if I should do this, and maybe I should do this, and whatever you're struggling with, whatever it is for you, it's okay to pivot and to, have a little detour, because we talked about this. You're on your path and you're gonna get to your destination regardless. It is okay to take a detour sometimes and, have an experience that maybe you didn't expect, because at the end of the day, you'll learn from it, okay? And it's okay to not always have the answers. It's okay to, even if you feel like you have the answer, it's okay to not listen sometimes, okay? It's overwhelming to always be in a position that you feel like you have to make the right choices all of the time, because the fact of the matter is you literally cannot always make the right decisions. That's just what it is. There are some things, in my opinion, I think also that we have to go through regardless of if we may have an inkling, or if we are overthinking the situation, whatever. There are some things that you just cannot get yourself out of, okay? There's some things you just have to go through to develop your spirit, to develop your mind, to mature as a person, to grow as a person, whatever the case may be, okay? And so, say all that to say, for me, like, sometimes like I said, I am an intuitive person, so sometimes I feel like I in a way can kind of abuse that, because I feel like, oh, well, I gotta do this, and I gotta be on my P's and Q's because I'm already gonna find this out, and it gets to be a problem, because it's like, okay, but where are you gonna have the space to just allow yourself to be, to allow yourself to live, to allow yourself to not always, have your psychic, spiritual cap on, and just live your life, be a 21-year-old, okay? Do things that might be a little bit impulsive. Do things that will teach you something, because you are allowed to. You don't have to. I guess for me, I feel like I sometimes operate as if I'm a 30-year-old, and I'm not. And no offense to like 30-year-olds, because that's not old, but I'm just saying, like, it's okay. Even if you're 30, you don't have to be in a mindset of a 50-year-old, okay? There are times and seasons in your life where you do get to explore and experience and make decisions that you want to make. Do the things that you feel you're urging to do, whether it's quote unquote right or wrong or not, whatever. And then there's also seasons where you might be called to be more disciplined, where you might be called to really hone in on your, intuitive nudges, the messages that you might be getting from the universe, from God, whatever you believe, okay? There's going to be seasons, and there's going to be a time and a place for everything. But you don't have to continue to... Beautiful lady, how are you doing? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. But you don't have to continue... You don't have to always... Like I said, if you're like me and you're intuitive, you don't always have to have the intuitive hat on. Okay, take the intuitive hat off for a second, okay? If you're somebody that you identify as a responsible person, somebody that, is level-headed, good decision maker, whatever, you don't always have to be that all the time. That is just an aspect of you. You are allowed to, again, make mistakes. You're allowed to just not think about stuff sometimes. Like, I know that sounds so scary and crazy, but I'm telling y'all this because it's so freeing when you can find yourself in a place of acceptance of anything. an acceptance of yourself, an acceptance of your life as it is right now, an acceptance of the decisions you are making, the decisions that you have made. Just having acceptance and awareness around it all is just, it'll take you so much farther than worrying about, is this the right things for me? Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right decision? Am I, making sure that this is the best possible outcome ever? Because at the end of the day, like I said before, you literally cannot know. You will not know. Like, even as a psychic person or intuitive person, I don't always know. I might have a nudge. Let me not say it like that, because there are sometimes I do know, but not all the time. Sometimes it's really unclear, and it's okay. Like, there are things I feel as though God will not always reveal all of the things to me at a time, because of the simple fact that if it was revealed to me, I probably would make a certain decision and avoid the experience altogether, when in reality I need the experience as a catalyst for change or a catalyst for growth or whatever it is. It could be anything, okay? And I also believe that sometimes the things that we ask for, or the blessings that we're waiting to receive, the manifestations that we're waiting to come in, they cannot come in unless we make a mistake, or unless we take a detour, or unless we have certain experiences. There are certain things that you genuinely just have to endure in order to get into a space of where it is that you are destined to go, where it is you want to go, okay? But yeah, like, y'all, I can be sometimes I can have a problem with controlling, like control issues. I can have issues with overthinking, escapism, being undisciplined, being very fearful. And so I just want to be able to come here raw, okay, uncut. What time is it? Yeah, it's 10:46 at this point. Like, I want to lay it out all on the table and let y'all know, like, I am not perfect at all whatsoever. And I'm literally going through this experience with everyone else, clueless, trying to put the pieces together every once in a while. But I'll be just as clueless, okay? But all I do know is that all of those things they're not bad. It's just, again, having the awareness and the acceptance around it. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much I overthink, no matter how much, discipline I lack, or fear I have in my heart and my spirit, is not going to change things that are destined to occur. Okay, so no matter how much you overthink, no matter how much you feel like you want to make the right decisions, no matter how much you feel like, you got to think certain things over so you can make sure you have, whatever. There's some things that you genuinely just cannot avoid, and that is okay, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be good. Okay, you're not gonna have to walk through the fire and not, reap the. What do you gain? What do you gain? What is another example? I don't know that that's a good example, because it's like, basically, you're not going to endure certain things without gaining something from it. That's just the bottom line. That's just period, okay? And so, honestly, I have notes and I'm trying to like follow them, but a lot of the things that I wrote in my notes I already kind of touched on. But what I've basically realized, all in all, is that I'm human, okay? I'm human, and no matter what happens, no matter what I do, what I don't do, I'm still human. I'm still going to make mistakes. I'm still going to have flaws. I'm still going to endure certain things, whether it's pleasurable, dissatisfactory, painful, whatever, suffering, whatever. That is the human experience. And I am 100%, not always, but for the most part, I am 100% accepting of that. And it is okay, because I know that regardless of what happens in my life, regardless of what changes I go through, what loss I experience, grief, whatever, suffering, whatever it is, whatever I experience, it will add to me in the end. And I'll be able to look back on the things that I've gone through and be thankful for it, because I've been able to do it so far. So I hope that can give someone a little bit of peace. I know that gives me peace. And I already touched on, whether you are trying to achieve perfection, or you overthink things because you want to reach some type of perfection, regardless of any of that, you're still going to make a mistake. Okay? Even if you're trying to avoid it, you're still going to make a mistake. And another thing is that I have on my notes here is that I would rather live a life moving out of faith instead of fear. Okay? And I put in parentheses that I would like to fail in faith, because I feel like when you are moving in faith, of course you might fail. Just because you have faith and you're a faithful person and you trust yourself, you trust God, whatever the case, whatever you believe, it does not mean that you're exempt. Again, you're not exempt from going through the changes and the ebbs and flows of life. You're not exempt from going through the heartbreak, the suffering, the pain, the loss. And that's okay, because it's still, in the end, yes, you might go through those things, but you will not go through them forever. Like I said before, like, there's seasons in your life that you will endure. There's seasons of discipline that you might have to have. There's going to be seasons of you're getting everything you want. There's going to be seasons where you're losing everything that you thought you wanted. There's going to be seasons of trying to realize what you want in the first place. Okay? There's seasons that you will go through in your life. But all I know is that I would rather, move in faith instead of fear, because in fear, it's like I will be making decisions based off of, oh, but I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. Versus moving in faith, I can make a decision based on my trust for myself, my trust for my path, my trust for God. And in that, I can accept whatever outcome comes from that. Because when you are moving in fear, also, you're almost expecting a certain outcome, or you're trying to expect diverging from a certain outcome, when you can't do that, because that's just, you can't have so much control on your life. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I would much rather fail in faith than fail and I'm living in fear and I'm moving in fear, because regardless, if I'm supposed to fail so I can learn something, that's just what's going to happen. I'd rather be faithful and be like, oh, well, let me just take a leap of faith. Let me just do it and see what happens, than being like, oh, well, I don't really want to do this. Like, I don't want to do this, so I'm going to do this instead. And then I fail anyway. Like, I'd rather just be have faith in myself and in my path, and trust that everything's going to unfold the way that it should anyway. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I already wrote in my notes, in the end, it will sort itself out anyway, so there's no need to try to force your hand and have such a tight grip on life. And I literally already just said that, but it's so true. Like, while the theme of this video is you're allowed to make mistakes, I also want to say that you are also allowed to flow with life. You don't have to always have the answers. Okay, you don't have to always be seeking answers. You don't have to always be progressing and trying to elevate and trying to grow. Like I said, y'all, I've been in a space in my life where I've just been living. Like, I don't know what it is, if it's me being 21 or what, but like, I've literally just been living. Like, and again, it's not in a self-destructing type of way, even though I have a whole theory about self-destruction. I'll probably make a video on that. Because I had a download about that a few weeks ago. But we'll talk about that another day. Anyway, it's not in a self-destructive way, but it's more so in a way, or a reckless way either, because it definitely could be a slippery slope, don't get me wrong. But it's more so in a way where, again, I would like to live a life of faith, a life where I trust myself, I trust God, I trust my path, than living a life in fear and having such a tight grip on my life that there's no room for me to just chill. Like, literally, like, sometimes I just be wanting to chill, y'all. Like, I don't always want to be thinking about the next step. I don't always want to be thinking about, oh, what's next? What do I, what should I accomplish next, or what? Like, that's not even me. Like, if I focus too much on achievements and trying to always be onto the next thing, like, my whole life feels out of balance and out of whack. And so I really, really try to live my life as present as possible and with as much ease as possible, because I realize, like, it's a reason why we are called co-creators, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, but I would really love to lean into the part of co-creators sometimes, because I don't want to always do it on my own, and I'm not. I believe that I'm not always doing it on my own. You're not always doing it on your own. And again, we don't have to always have the answers. You don't always have to be perfect. You don't always have to make the right decisions. You don't always have to have, everything planned out from step 1 to 10. Like, it's okay, because those plans might not even fall through. I mean, they might not even go together. They might fall through. And it's better to focus your energy, again, like I said, focusing your energy on the now, focusing your energy on what you can control, which is yourself, your mood, your environment. For the most part, if you can't control your environment, at the end of the day, you can control yourself, okay? And so I would like to focus on those things, because inevitably, when you can focus on those things and you can bring love into this present moment, you can bring joy into this present moment, peace, whatever it is that you're seeking to gain for the future, or whatever seeds you're trying to sow so that you can reap the harvest of it in the future, it has to start now. It has to start in this present moment. And that could mean that you are not worried about what decisions are the best and what's the right thing and the wrong. You're just being. You are allowed to just be. You don't have to have it all figured out. I promise you, you don't have to have it all figured out. Y'all, there's been so many times too that I've literally prayed to God and I'm like, can you just let me chill? Like, please allow me to remember to surrender. Please allow me to give these things to you. Okay, I don't want to carry these things right now. I don't have time for that. Like, I have to work. I have things that I want to do. Like, I'm not trying to be worried about this. I'm not trying to be thinking about that. I will literally just go to God and be like, here, I don't want it. Okay, that's me. That's me. I don't know about y'all, but that definitely helps. Okay, and if you don't believe in God, just journal it down, write it down, burn it, whatever you need to do. Just release it, give it away, because you don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to worry so much. Okay, you just don't. Let it go. Let that go. Okay, so in conclusion, y'all, okay, wrapping it up to tie it into a beautiful silky red bow. I don't want y'all to miss out on your life by trying to make all of the right decisions, because right and wrong is all relative / perspective based. Okay, and it's also okay to start from scratch, because we are ever-changing beings that will inevitably live in many different realities and recreate many different versions of ourselves. Okay, that one's kind of loaded. But basically, we're going to always be changing. Our lives are ever-changing. Our appearance is ever-changing. Our internal being is ever-changing. And so, again, spending so much time focusing on the most minute, minuscule things in your life, your day-to-day life, your, life, if you're thinking 10 years from now, whatever the case, it's not necessary, because we're going to be continually changing anyway. We're literally you might feel like you want something today, and then tomorrow you completely change your mind and you want something different. Next week you might want the thing that you wanted today, but then the week after that you might change your mind again and you want something completely different. Like, you're always going to be changing. You're always going to be in a state of, I guess, flow, as it pertains to how life is, because life is just change. Like, it's just a series of change. It's a series of events where you're going through changes. Okay, and it's okay to, again, like I said, start from scratch. It's okay to allow yourself again to recreate yourself, to recreate your life, to change your perspective. Okay, to change your view on what it is that you're focusing on, to release what it is that you're focusing on, if it's weighing you down, if it's not helping you out in this present moment. Okay, you have permission to just chill, y'all. Like, just chill for a little bit, Okay? And the last thing that I have on here is embrace the fear of failure and identify where it may come from and make peace with it in your own way. Okay? Because I think at the end of the day, I believe that when you have a perfectionist type of mentality, when you are afraid to make mistakes, when you feel like you have to make all the right decisions all the time, that really kind of stems from a fear of failure, as well as control, like wanting to control your life, wanting to control certain things in your life, aspects, people, whatever it is for you. I think that that's a big place where it comes from. So you have to kind of figure out for you where that comes from, where it stems from. Because I know for me, my fear of failure comes from, and not only do I have I don't have just a fear of failure, but I have like a fear of success as well. And that's like a bigger one for me. So I have a tiny little fear of failure, and then I have a bigger fear of success, which is, I'm not going to unpack all that today, but find your own way to make peace with it. Okay, like I said earlier, like if journaling helps you, if meditation helps you, if prayer helps you, if going on walks helps you, if exercising helps you, whatever you need to do to make peace with your fears, to make peace with where you are, just make peace with where you are. Like I said, y'all, I'm in a place in my life where I'm not trying to just always be focused on the next thing, focused on the next level, focused on recreating myself and branching, because those things will happen naturally. I don't have to force it. I don't have to consume a bunch of different types of content that allow you to, whatever. Like, there's so much content nowadays that is centered around, self-love, self-care, and healing, and spiritual growth, and all that stuff is amazing. And I am so happy to be living in a time like this where the collective consciousness is raising up, okay? Because we really raise it up. Like, we are really awakening as a collective, as a human race, and I love to see it. But it becomes to be a little bit toxic when we're hyper focusing on, oh, is this something the healed version of me would do? Is this something my higher self would do? Is this something that, I can live with 5 to 10 years down the line? Just do it. Like, just do it and figure it out, do it and accept the, whatever will come with it, because you don't know. It might be the best thing that you could ever do for yourself. It might be the worst thing that you could ever do for yourself, but you won't know until you just do it. Okay. You won't know until you just live your life. You have to live your life, and you need wisdom. Okay. So again, if you fail, okay, you have wisdom under your belt now. You have experience. You have what not to do. You have a rule book of how you would want to conduct yourself moving forward. And that is a win. Like, you're going to win regardless. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, low key, like that. So, yes, y'all, that's all I have. Okay, I'm going to get off of here. It's time to go to bed. Okay, but I'm going to see you guys soon. I hope that helps someone. If you are struggling with, just accepting the fact that you're human, accepting the fact that you're not always going to be perfect, accepting your flaws, accepting your darkest parts, okay? Because that's a big one too. Accepting your shadow, accepting the parts of you that has raged, accepting the parts of you that are angry, accepting the parts of you that, are pessimistic, whatever it is, okay? I hope this allows you to come more into union with acceptance of self, acceptance of where you are, acceptance of your life path, how it's all unfolding for you. I hope this allows you to surrender to the present moment again, to come back to the present moment, to just breathe, to chill, to not feel like you have to hold on to so many different things and carry so many different things, because you really, again, you really don't. Especially if you feel as if you are mentally burnt out, emotionally, spiritually burnt out. Take your time to live your life. Take your time to just be. Take your time to just not overthink. I don't want to say not think at all, but don't overthink. Take your time to just listen to what it is that you need and what it is that you want, and go for it, okay? Because at the end of the day, like I said, you're going to win. Even if you feel like you've taken a perceived quote unquote L, you're not taking an L because you're learning from it. Okay, L stands for learning. And the more you learn, the more you win. Okay, amen. That's all I gotta say, y'all. But I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, your morning, your evening, whatever, whenever you're watching. And I will see y'all in my next video. Okay, surrender, live your life. Okay, be a hot girl, be a hot boy, whatever. Be a baddie, be a spiritualist, be whatever it is that you're trying to do. Be disciplined if this is your season of discipline, whatever it is. But live your life. Okay, live your life, and don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace, give yourself unconditional love, forgiveness. Okay, give other people that. Radiate good energy when you can. And if you're not radiating good energy, it's okay. Accept it. Do your thing for a little bit. Get back to you. Okay. But yeah, y'all. Okay, I'm done. I love y'all so much. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. Surrender.